The Finnish twin tragedy. In 2002, two identical twin brothers in Finland died, not just on the same day, not just in the same way, but in nearly the exact same spot, on the same road. Both were riding bicycles, both were hit by trucks, only 2 hours apart. The police said, "It made my hair stand on end. It wasn't planned. It wasn't staged. It was just an impossible accident." Times 2. Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. This one sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's just a long list of historical coincidences. Lincoln was elected in 1860. Kennedy was elected in 1960. Both were assassinated on a Friday by a gunshot to the head. Both were succeeded by a man named Johnson. Andrew Johnson, born 1808. Lyndon B. Johnson, born 1908. It keeps going. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy. Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln. Even creepier, Lincoln was shot in a theater, and the killer ran to a warehouse. Kennedy was shot from a warehouse, and the killer ran to a theater. Coincidence? Maybe, but it's one of the most talked about parallels in American history. The wreck of the Titan, before Titanic. In 1898, a writer named Morgan Robertson published a novel called The Wreck of the Titan. It was about a massive British ocean liner, deemed unsinkable, that hits an iceberg in April in the North Atlantic and sinks, killing most on board. Sound familiar? 14 years later, the Titanic sank. Same type of ship, same route, same month, even the name. Titan versus Titanic. People say he predicted the future, but Morgan Robertson claimed it was just an eerie coincidence. Baby who was saved twice. In Detroit, 1930, a man named Joseph Figlock was walking down the street when suddenly, a baby fell out of a fourth-story window. Joseph caught the baby. Both survived. That alone is lucky. But here's where it gets bizarre. 1 year later, same building, same baby, fell again. And guess who was walking under the window? Joseph, again. He caught the baby twice, in exactly the same spot. The Hoover Dam, father and son. When construction began on Hoover Dam in 1922, the first worker to die was a man named George Tierney. He drowned while doing site prep in the Colorado River. Exactly 13 years later to the day, the last worker to die during the project, his son, Patrick Tierney. 2 deaths, same family, same dam, same day, 13 years apart. Mark Twain and Halley's Comet. Mark Twain was born in 1835, the same year Halley's Comet passed Earth. He later joked, "I came in with the comet, and I expect to go out with it." Well, he did. He died in 1910, the day after Halley's Comet returned. Even crazier, he predicted it 1 year earlier, saying, "It will be the greatest disappointment of my life if I don't go out with Halley's Comet." Hugh Williams, the shipwreck survivor, again and again. In 1660, a ship sank in the Strait of Dover. Everyone died, except one man, Hugh Williams. In 1767, another shipwreck, only one survivor. Same name, Hugh Williams. Then again in 1940, another ship went down. Only one man lived. Yep, Hugh Williams. No one knows why the name keeps showing up. No proof they were related. Just 3 shipwrecks. Same name, same fate. The bullet that waited 20 years. In the 1880s, Henry Zieglin broke up with his girlfriend. She was heartbroken and tragically took her own life, and her brother blamed Henry. He shot at him and missed. The bullet grazed Henry and got stuck in a tree. 20 years later, Henry blew up the tree with dynamite. The same bullet was launched, and this time it hit and killed him. The king who was warned by a dream. In 1865, Abraham Lincoln told his wife and friends about a strange dream. He walked through the White House, saw people crying, and asked what had happened. They told him, "The president has been assassinated." Just days later, he was shot at Ford's Theater. It's one of the most chilling premonitions in history. The Founding Fathers and July 4th. Thomas Jefferson and John Adams were fierce political rivals, and later, friends. They both died on the same day, July 4th, 1826, exactly 50 years after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. 5 years later, James Monroe, another founding father, also died on July 4th. 3 presidents, all died on America's birthday. The woman who survived all 3 major shipwrecks, a stewardess named Violet Jessup, worked on all 3 famous White Star Line ships. Titanic sank in 1912, Britannic sank in 1916, Olympic damaged in 1911. She survived all 3 disasters. Some called her Miss Unsinkable. The Curse of Tamerlane's Tomb. In 1941, Soviet archaeologists opened the tomb of Tamerlane, a 14th century warlord. Inside was an inscription, "Whoever opens my tomb will unleash an invader dictator more terrible than I. 2 days later, Hitler invaded the Soviet Union. Historians still debate the timing. But in 1942, Stalin ordered the tomb be reburied with full Islamic rituals. Within weeks, the Soviets began to win the war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.